Hi guys, it's Adam here from the Disney Theme Park Vlog, and today we are taking you behind the scenes with two people who helped to make the magic. We are so delighted to be joined by former Disney cast members Tom Ford and Kathryn Nash, who met working for Disney and are now married. Both were main stage performers for Disney Cruise Line, with Kathryn working for Disney since 2015 and Tom since 2016. They are friends of the channel and the team here, and we are so excited to share with you their stories and a peek behind the scenes of what life is like as a Disney cast member. Now before we go any further, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel, that really helps us out, and you can also find us on social media. Links are in the description. Okay, but now it is time to meet Tom and Kathryn, who are over in Orlando. Hi guys!
Hello!
Hi!
How are you both?
Lovely, how are you doing?
Yeah, really good, thanks. It's hot over here, but I bet it's not as hot as it is in Orlando.
Well, it's really grey and dark at the moment, but it is still very warm.
You mean England is warmer and hotter than Orlando?
Yes.
But you guys still have a pool?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, England's having crazy heat at the moment, yeah.
Oh, crazy.
Yeah, my brother showed off his rather obscene sunburn the other day that he got when he was out and
Yeah,
about.
it's overcast here and raining a lot, but we needed it.
Yeah.
Needed a break from all that sunshine.
Need from a break from all that sunshine. We keep getting sunburn every time we go out. Even no amount of sunscreen seems to be able to protect me from Orlando sun. So I'm like, stay in the shade.
So you guys met on Disney Cruise Line. So first of all, tell us about the shows that you were in, have been in so far on Disney Cruise Line, and which characters you were best friends with on the cruise line.
Yeah, well, we've been in a lot of shows on Cruise Line now. We were just about to start, well, I was about to start the fourth ship, so out of the 4 ships that Cruise Line has. So we've done Villains Tonight, Golden Mickeys.
Disney's Believe many times.
Many times we've done Believe Wishes, which now is closed. I've done Toy Story the Musical.
And then the book ones are Aladdin. We've done Beauty and the Beast, which is probably Disney's Cruise Line's biggest show now that we did last year. And we were rehearsing Tangled when we lost our jobs, when COVID happened. But yeah, we were rehearsing for the Disney Magic Tangled, Twice Charmed,
and Dreams.
And Dreams, yeah.
And do you each have a favourite show?
Oh, wow. They're also... Disney shows on the ships are spectacular in every way. And so it's hard to try and fathom which one is your favourite, but there's for lots of different reasons why each one could be your favourite. But I think for me, my favourite one to do was Beauty and the Beast. It's based on the new movie, so it's very different. We had to learn some incredible puppet skills.
Yeah.
It's a bit like Avenue Q in a way that so all of us, I was best friends with Cogsworth in that show. So the puppets are kind of this size, and we have the puppets, but we're in full costume. So the audience are like looking at the puppets and then looking at the actor as well. And the whole set was built around these huge LED screens. And then the set is brought on with the performers. They kind of move things around. It's just the most organic theatrical experience on the show.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's heartfelt and huge, and the spectacle is amazing. I would say my favorite show I've gotten to do with Cruise Line would be Golden Mickeys. It's just so fun. It's like this big cabaret style show, review style show, I should say, and has so many like 90s hits Disney songs in it.
Big
hits. Yeah, it just makes you feel amazing. And I got to be really close friends with Snow White in that show, and she's obviously my favorite because I got to do it at Panto over in Yeovil. So yeah, I would say that's my favorite.
Yeah, that one is the like big hits, and the Disney Dreams really is a great ship, and it opens with the Golden Mickeys, and it is the perfect way you get on that ship. And if you're kind of, maybe you're not hugely into Disney, but you're on with your family, that show is like, bang, this is what you're in for. And you see people tearing up like constantly throughout that show. It hits you right in the nostalgic feels.
Oh, amazing. Well, talking of nostalgic feels, can you each remember the very first time you visited a Disney theme park? And how old were you? Who did you go with? What was that experience like?
Well, yeah, I wouldn't say I remember the first visit because my parents were obsessed with Disney. We went twice a year. We were from Texas, and we went every May and December because my dad was a swim coach, and so he would go with his big swim team on their like recruiting trip, and then I got to go along for the ride. So I've been going to Disney twice a year since I was a kid, and when it came time for us to move, we moved to Orlando because it felt like Disney was like a second home. So Disney has been ingrained in my childhood, so I couldn't tell you the very first time, but I remember always going back and seeing the castle again and feeling that same like nostalgic feeling, even though I was still a kid.
Your family moved to Orlando to be closer to Disney.
Yeah, just because it felt like home.
They did a good job. They did a really
very
good job.
Great job. I was late. We never went, like my family, we kind of vacationed more in Europe. We never really came to America at all. And the first time I went to Disney, I think I was 22, and that was to Disneyland Paris. And I'd spent a lot of time working in British theme parks up to that point. And I just remember being absolutely bowled over with just how magical it was, how clean it was, how helpful people were. And Disneyland Paris is known for maybe not being as like helpful as it is in America, but I was still absolutely blown away by it. And then I was just desperate to come. As soon as I went there, I was like, I have to go to the ones in Florida and LA at some point. So.
And I got to go to Disneyland Paris with Tom back in 2016, and I loved it.
Yeah, you guys loved it.
Oh, it's amazing.
Yeah.
It's just this like miniature version, but it's like all the greatest stuff.
You
and
can
then
get
these
it all
things you would
done
never
within a
think
day.
of. Yeah, it's amazing. I love Disneyland Paris.
Yeah.
So when did you first know you wanted to work for Disney? When did that little seed drop and you thought, yes, I want to go and work for the mouse?
No, you go first.
Okay. I remember seeing the Hunchback of Notre Dame show at MGM, now Hollywood Studios in Orlando. And it was this kind of like what Finding Nemo the musical is now, Animal Kingdom. It was this full musical, but probably done in about 45 minutes to an hour. But they had this amazing opening sequence where they had puppets of the townspeople walking into the city. And I just remember feeling moved at that time, I think I was 5 or 6. And I remember feeling so moved, and Esmeralda singing God Help the Outcasts. And I just remember that being the first emotional theatrical experience, Disney or not, that made me want to be a performer. And I knew I wanted to work for Disney because of that show. And it's since closed, but it's still kind of known as this incredible theatrical experience. So I was really lucky to be able to see it.
Big Disney fans are still like mourning the loss of that show.
Yeah, it was amazing. It was really inspiring.
Bring it back.
Yeah, bring it back. Come on, bring it back. For me, I'm not sure. I think I was later again because I hadn't been to the park since I was older. And then it was when I heard about the shows on Disney Cruise Line, funnily enough, and I heard about Villains Tonight, and I've always loved playing villains, and that's just something obviously. And I don't know. I think I just felt like, oh, that would be a dream show for me, but I never really thought that they really auditioned in London because they really didn't very often, and it just kind of got pushed back because my career went a different way. So I'm just so happy that it kind of went the way it did, and I was able to audition. I remember the first time I went on stage at Villains Tonight, I was like, yes, this actually happened. That's crazy. I never would have thought it would have done. So I'm glad it worked out how it did.
Yeah.
And I met you, so.
Yeah, you're cool.
Yay.
So you got the roles. Now tell us about the rehearsal process, the training, how you became, learned to become best friends with some of those amazing characters.
So Disney has an incredible rehearsal facility in Toronto. So that was amazing that we got to go and live in Toronto. And then the rehearsal facility is stunning. It's amazing cutting edge facilities. Yeah. And you're there for 2 months, 2.5 months, depending on the ship. And you learn the big 3 musicals that are on the ship, plus extra shows like pirate shows, Star Wars, extra offerings, Marvel. So 2 months seems like a long time, especially when we do Panto in like a week and 2 weeks or something. But really it is that every show is almost a week and a half rehearsal because you stage it, do it, and then you move on to the next one, and then you go back and polish them at the end once you've learned everything. Yeah. Rehearsals are really full on, but they're rewarding. You're learning. You're surrounded by magic all the time. Often you see some of the world famous characters like walking around the studios, which is just
it's amazing,
bizarre, and amazing at the same time. And you just learn everything about the company and the show. So it's a heck of a lot to take in, but it's one of my favorite parts of the contract for sure.
Yeah, it's an incredibly strenuous rehearsal process in a really cool way. You get in amazing shape. Sometimes you'll get your schedule for the next day, and you've been working on this one show for 2 weeks, and you had left another show behind, and all of a sudden you get this schedule, and you rehearse that one show you would rehearse 2 weeks ago, and you have a run of it the following day, and you're suddenly like, oh, what did I even do in that show? I don't remember.
My life.
Yeah, so it's cool. So you have about 2 to 2.5 months rehearsal, and you run those shows over and over and over because Disney is an entertainment company. You know, you have to be excellent, and they expect a lot from you, and we're really lucky to work for such a company that values such excellence. And
it gives you a tremendous work ethic, which I think we both try and strive no matter what kind of job we're doing. And I feel a lot of that came from Disney, because you have to learn so much so fast and be exceptional with it. So it just makes you a better performer and a better worker, I feel. And yeah, the skills I've learned how to fly. I've learned how to fly. Use fly rigs. The puppetry we did in Beauty and the Beast was crazy, but that's such a skill now, because puppetry is becoming more and more of a kind of established art form. So it's just learned crazy skills. Yeah. I'm still trying to learn how to dance, getting better.
You are a great dancer. He cuts himself short. He's great.
But the shows are just so big, and anyone that's been on a Disney cruise or seen videos on YouTube and stuff, the shows are such spectacles. They may be only an hour long, but they cram so much magic and wonder in that time, that the dancing, like our dancers, or you especially as well, the dancers go through so much and put their bodies through it just to put on these incredible shows, which it's so rewarding.
Yeah, we're lucky.
That's great. So what, other than meeting each other, has been the best thing about working for Disney, do you think?
I think it's this opportunity to create so many families that as performers we get casts of individuals, which really almost must be a commentary on theatrical life in general. You get in this cast of individuals and you're with them for a year or for several months, and you become a family. And I think especially in cruise ship life, you are in such close quarters with these people, and then to take it to cruise line, to Disney, we all want the best for each other. We all believe in the magic. We all believe in the product. And we get to create so many families. And through this time, we've had 5 amazing families that have been in our bridal parties and our groom's parties at our wedding, and came to our wedding. Officiated our wedding. I mean, we've gone on these world travels with them. I think, Disney cruises bring you together with amazing people.
You do really make some dear friends for life, that you just have that bond. If you worked on a cruise ship with people, you just create such a strong bond. And you're like like you said, a family. You're looking after each other on stage and in just general life on a ship. So yeah, I'd have to agree. I think the friendships you make, one? Definitely. Yeah. The travel is really great too. Obviously, that's such a good part of being on a cruise ship. But we've worked on ships that didn't really go to crazy places. We kind of stuck to the same itinerary. It changes almost every contract where
we kind of go. So,
and our ship, the Dream, which is the one we've been on the most, only goes to Nassau and Castaway Cay, which are amazing. But that's the itinerary. So you do spend so much more time on a ship with the castmates. And
those people make it, really.
Yeah, absolutely.
Great. Tell us, which is your favourite Disney Cruise Line ship and why?
What is our favourite Disney Cruise Line ship? See,
different things for different hard.
Ships. Yeah, because I've only been on the Dream and the Fantasy, and thunder. I've only been on the Dream and the Fantasy to work, and I visited the Magic one day because we ported next to it, and that's the ship we were meant to go on. And I'd heard great things about the Magic because it's kind of like the Disneyland of cruise ships, because it's the OG, it was the original, so it kind of has this aura about it because it's kind of older and just it's classic. So I was very excited to go on that properly. But the Dream is my favorite just because I've spent so much time there, and we met there, and it holds some really, really lovely memories.
Yes, I think my favorite ship is also the Dream because it's so well looked after. It's such state-of-the-art, incredible ship, and it's our home. We've been there so much. But for the itinerary of something that I've been able to experience, I loved being on the Wonder and seeing Alaskan mountains and goats roaming the hills right beside the ship and bears in the trees. I mean, it was craziness. So yeah, that aspect of travel and the Wonder makes that my favorite for its journey.
That's fantastic. Thank you. Can you give us some tips? If people are going on a Disney cruise, what 3 tips would you give them to get the best experience out of their cruise?
Oh, wow. The tips for going on a Disney cruise. There is just so much to do on a Disney cruise that it's hard to like whittle it down. Obviously, most cruises go to Castaway Cay, and Castaway Cay is Disney's private island, and it's stunning. It has everything there. So I think one is to obviously get off the ship on Castaway Cay and go and see it. My second one would be to do the midship detective agency.
Yeah.
It's this really cool thing that is mainly for kids, but it's for families and adults too. It's this interactive game that takes you all around the ship. It lasts about 2 hours if you do it properly. And it's paintings on the ship that you think are just paintings. Once you go up with this card that's the like quiz, it becomes interactive. It's a bit like being in Harry Potter. The pictures start moving,
Yes.
and it has this whole storyline to it. And we never did it the time we worked on the ship, but we went on the ship as guests recently, or in February before everything went crazy. And it was amazing.
Really fun.
I was like, why have we not been doing this
Yeah,
for the
it's just
last 4 years?
Fun little activity.
Yeah.
That was 2. What's 3?
And three would obviously go and see the shows.
Definitely
That should be
see
number
the
one.
show.
Go and see the shows, because some people don't. Some people aren't theatre people, and there is actually a lot of people that don't have children that go on Disney cruises, and they're not even Disney fans. They just the hospitality and everything that is on a Disney ship is the best.
Yeah.
So they don't go for the Disney factor. They just go for the service. So I would always say go and see those shows, because you will be amazed at what a ship can do, and I'm sure it's the same with other cruise lines as well. But what a Disney ship can produce in those theatres is unreal.
I would say less specifically, the 3 biggest general things for a Disney cruiser to know would be to be prepared for both scenarios of your vacation. Be prepared to be the vacationer that wants to do everything, that schedules everything, that gets that navigator, that does all the port adventures, but also bring a book with you, because you may get on that boat and just say, you know what, I just want to sit on my veranda and look out at the ocean and read a book. And you should have the option. You know, so many people, so many times I'm greeting and hanging out with our characters, and a guest will come up to me and be like, are there books anywhere? Can I go buy a book? Can I go buy a book? Like, bring that book you want to bring, you know? And secondly, I would suggest seeing the characters early on in the cruise. So go meet Minnie and Mickey early on, because the last few days of the cruise, it just gets desperate. Everybody wants to go meet the mouse, and rightfully so. I would say go early on so you can be chill for the end of it. And then thirdly, would be to see the shows, because they do give that sense of well-roundedness, and they remind you of the magic of why you chose to sail on a Disney cruise ship versus any other ship out there, you know? I think it's, reminding yourself of magic.
Very good.
Thank you.
Very good.
Very
Thanks.
good. We've got some quick fire questions for you now.
Ooh.
Oh, great.
Yeah, I know, right? So which is your favourite Disney theme park around the world?
My favorite Disney theme park is Hollywood Studios in Orlando, Florida.
Wow.
I love movies.
Yeah, that's a good choice. My favourite, it changes all the time. My favourite right now is Epcot. Who knew? Epcot. Why?
Love
I
it.
don't know. I think I just enjoy... It's just different. It's just different to the other parks.
Yeah.
It goes between Animal Kingdom and Epcot quite a lot. But I also have a huge hankering to see Disney Tokyo Sea, because I've heard it's
Oh,
the
amazing.
best.
Yeah.
And I watched that amazing Imagineers documentary on Disney Plus, and I have to go. I have to see that park.
Yeah.
It looks beautiful.
We all have to go. We all
Yes.
have to go there.
Yes,
Again,
let's go.
multiple times.
Yes.
And next one, which is currently your favourite Disney attraction?
Splash Mountain has always and will always be my favorite attraction. I love it. I love the water ride. I love it. That's my favorite.
Dinosaur Animal Kingdom is my favorite ride.
Really?
Yeah, I love it. I love it. I'm not a big ride person. I get very sick very quickly. Hence why we didn't go as a kid, because my parents are like, what's the point? Tom's just going to throw up the whole time.
He does, and he screams, and he loses his
I lose
voice.
my voice. So I have to be really careful when I'm on contract when I go to the parks.
It's like, ah!
Basically that. And Dinosaur is about my limit, but I
Yeah.
just think it's so well done.
Agreed.
Yeah, but I obviously want to see Rise of the Resistance, the new Star Wars
Yes.
ride, because apparently that's a game changer as
Yeah.
well. Oh, and Ratatouille in Disneyland Paris is
Also
brilliant.
very good.
Yeah,
Yes.
brilliant.
Also very good. Alice in Wonderland and Disneyland is also good. We could keep
We
going.
could just keep going. And I love
Yeah.
Peter Pan.
We've got
classic
lots and
Peter
lots of
Pan ride.
favourites.
Classic. Oh,
What?
I always forget because we went to Disneyland in California once
going.
and I was really unwell, but I was trying to force my way through the park to stay like in it. And the Indiana Jones ride in Disney California is
That might
unreal.
be it, actually.
That's kind of like dinosaur amped up.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a brilliant
good one.
ride.
So much for the quick fire questions.
Sorry. Could just keep going. Just keep going.
Your next favourite question is, what is your favourite Disney restaurant? Or you can have your favourite Disney snack. Or both. Give us both if you want.
Okay.
Disney Mickey waffles. I didn't have to think that long. That's my favorite Disney. Well, it's a meal, but it's a snack. It's so perfect. Just the extra ears because they look like an actual mouse, but the crispiness. Oh.
They do them on the ship. They make them on the ship, so it makes fitting into our costumes that much tougher.
Yeah.
What else? My favourite snack, it's not really a snack, it's a drink, but Dole Whip
Dole
in
Whip.
Magic Kingdom. The Dole Whip
It's
drink.
pineapple ice cream with pineapple juice poured over
From
it.
Dole.
It's so good.
So good. My favourite restaurant is the Ale and Compass at what hotel is
Yacht
it?
Club.
At the Disney Yacht Club Resort.
Mm-hmm.
I love the restaurants in the hotels because they're away from the parks and they're just different, and I think they're amazing. But that's my favourite one.
It
that
is
we've
very
been to.
fancy.
It's fancy, but it's gorgeous.
Yeah.
And Kathryn, did you have a favourite restaurant?
Well, I was sticking with the premise of the question, which was snack or restaurant, but you just did both.
Well, yeah.
Okay,
so
so-
we
You
can
can
do
have
both. You could,
So
so we could break the
additionally,
rules.
we can have it all. Additionally, I would say my favorite restaurant might be... Where do I always go? I don't know.
You've been to more than I have. You love like Polynesian.
Ooh, Liberty Tree Tavern in Magic Kingdom. They always have a turkey dinner. And they
Catherine's
bring it
favourite
all to
meal
the
is a turkey
table.
dinner.
It's my favorite. They
So-
have turkey, mashed potatoes, mac and cheese. That's it. You got me talking about food now. I
I know
can't
if you're
stop.
talking about food. And if you're ever in Orlando at the right time, you must go to the Epcot Food and Wine Festival.
Oh, drink your way around the
Oh
world.
my word, that is spectacular.
Definitely. Good choices. Very good choices. We're almost reaching the end, but just tell us about what is an average day like on the cruise, if there is such a thing as an average day,
As a performer or as a guest?
as a performer.
An average day on the ship as a performer, we, as part of our duties, we look after our VIP character friends, so Mickey, Minnie, some of the Cinderella, other princesses. So our mornings are usually taken up by doing an hour or two of that, greeting with them, which is really lovely. You get to see some really magical moments. And then it's kind of go and get lunch. And then normally the rest of the day, people think performers just rest, but normally the rest of the day is either rehearsing because we might have somebody sick, so there's always bumps where understudies have to go into the show and rehearsing and making sure everyone is like slick, and then going to the gym, working out and being ready and making sure our muscles are fluid before the shows, and then vocally warm up, and then start getting ready for the show because we have 45 minutes normally before. That's our call time before the show, but normally people get there early. Get ready, start doing the shows. Our shows are at 6:15 and 8:30. We do 2 shows. We try and get some food in between, and then you rest. And sometimes we rehearse again at night if we're doing put-ins for understudies and things. So it's I think people think that cruise ship performers just have it lucky and have it made, and we do. We love our jobs, but it's hard
incredibly
work.
lucky. Yeah, it is. It's hard work, but it's rewarding work, and yeah, it's exactly that. I mean, really, if their show's at 6:15. I can start getting ready at 2:30 or 3. So yeah, we work out. That's a part of our job, is to stay in shape and be ready to do the shows and
Fit in our costumes.
Not
eat enough Mickey waffles.
Hey, we get to eat at those buffets a lot of the time, so it's definitely a challenge.
Yeah, that's one of the harder parts of the job, is just making sure that we stay in the size that we were hired.
Fantastic. And finally, you guys during lockdown have launched an amazing podcast. So tell us all about it, and our viewers would love to hear about it and come and listen to you guys a bit more.
Thank you for asking. We have done a podcast, which is like the craziest soiree into theater ever, because for the first time, at least for myself, I'm being myself. So we get to talk, just you and me, and the whole premise of our podcast is interviewing fellow out-of-work performers.
Because everyone is out of work right now.
We're all out of
so
work.
There's a big pool of people
We're all
to talk
brought
to.
down to zero. Exactly. And we've interviewed a lot of people through friends. We've interviewed friends. And we just basically ask, what are we doing to keep the magic and our creative sparks flying during all of this? So sometimes
and we're talking
we
to people from all over the world. Each episode will tell you where that interview is, because you might not want to listen to them all, but you might be like interested to see how people are dealing with it in South Africa or in Tokyo, Britain, America.
On the cruise ships.
On
so
cruise ships,
they've been all over. We've been really lucky. And on cruise ships, that's another cool thing about our job previous to now, is that we've met people all over the globe. So now we get to interview them, and it's really interesting seeing how different countries are handling this time and how different performers are handling this time. So it's called Lockdown Lovies, which most Americans don't know what Lovies is, but you guys will know Lovies is a theater term. It's, right? That's it?
A thesp.
A thespian. Yeah, I'm still learning.
A stagey
I'm like
person.
speaking 2 different languages.
But yeah, we have a great time. It's something that we just kind of created out of nothing. And yeah, it's been the thing it's been our constant throughout lockdown, which has been really good to just have something.
Gives us a schedule, which I think is one of the most important things during now, is to have some type of structure. So we're lucky.
Give it a listen.
And you're cool, so I don't mind doing it with you.
Amazing. Well, we'll put the links in the description. Thank you guys so much for sharing your stories with us. It's been so brilliant to speak to you and find out a little bit about behind the scenes at Disney Cruise Line. But thank you guys so much from everyone here at the Disney Theme Park Vlog. Stay safe, and we'll see you guys soon.
Thank you for
Thanks,
having us.
Adam.
Bye.
Thanks for watching, guys. We really hope you enjoyed that video. And now, don't be shy, we really want to hear from you, so get in touch. Comment below or talk to us on social media. And if you've enjoyed this video, then please do give us a like and subscribe to support our channel and get the latest news and updates. I've been Adam for the Disney Theme Park Vlog. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you real soon.